With the NBA season just past the halfway mark, this is the first time in history that two teams who have won at least 35 of their first 41 games are colliding before the All-Star break. On paper, it doesn't get any bigger than this.
This game doesn't determine anything yet. Maybe we'll see them in the playoffs, and that's when it really counts, obviously. But, the seeding is important. We'd like home court in the end. I'm sure they would too, and it's important in the standings, but it's also a good gauge for where we are and where they are, and you want to measure up against the best, and they've been the best for a long time.
Looking at the schedule, it's kind of like, wow, you don't want to play them so then, but I think it comes at a good time with both teams having success, and I think it's a great time for us to match up against each other.
Despite possible #1 seed in the West, home court advantage in the playoffs, and extending the Warriors' 38-game winning streak at home, Tim Duncan is more concerned about a sore knee, and Steph Curry has his mind elsewhere.
Today is the day, so more time worried about the Panthers right now. They're in the final stretch of this run, so hopefully we get to the Super Bowl and get them out here to Santa Clara, and then we'll worry about the Spurs on Monday.
Well, that is a true fan. Personnel, very important in big games like this. And of course, the news that Tim Duncan is out for San Antonio's game with soreness in his right knee will, of course, factor in. The Spurs talking about Big Monday and facing the Dubs.
Playing, the best team in the league, it takes on a little bit more maybe competitiveness or a little bit more fire in the belly, I would imagine. It makes you stand up and take notice a little bit more because you don't want to walk in there and get your fanny handed to you. It can still happen, but without a doubt, you take it seriously.
Yeah, I think transition D is the key, to this game. Obviously, they have the best offense. We have the best defense, so it's going to be, I think the whole game is going to be how we can, slow them down, and that's one of the keys, transition defense.
All right, guys, first things first, not having Tim Duncan in there, the numbers aren't through the roof, Smitty, of course, but his presence so big for this team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tim is one of those guys you're always going to be missed, no matter what age, because of his mindset, his presence on the floor. And I think whenever you play a lineup like they're playing with LaMarcus and Tim Duncan, yes, you have small ball, but if Tim can get somebody in foul trouble early in the game, that changes the dynamic for the Golden State Warriors.
I don't know, Vince. I don't think I really am shocked that Tim's going to miss the game because he hasn't really played in a lot of big games in his career. So it's too bad. Of course, I'm joking.
Yes.
Best defensive player on the interior in the game still today. You look at some of the numbers and what he's been able to do. He'll be missed, but it's a great opportunity for Pop to play lineups that they may have to get to if these teams, hopefully, for our sake, meet in the playoffs.
Both of these teams very qualified to mix and match given the depth and the type of styles. All right, let's look at these teams in terms of offense and defense. Golden State is an offensive juggernaut. Meanwhile, San Antonio has been able to hang their cowboy hats and Spurs on their defense this season. So it's the immovable object versus the irresistible force to some extent. So, Smitty, we're going to talk transition game of the Warriors and how unique is it what Golden State does?
It is. When we were watching an interview with Tony Parker, he ended up talking about transition defense is going to be so important. And the reason why, let's start off and see how Golden State runs their transition offense, which is totally different than the norm. Draymond Green, he's ahead of the snake. I'm circling Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. They're not even looking from the outlet from a power forward. Freeze it here. Stephen Curry now and Klay Thompson are starting to look for the basketball and then give a lot of credit to Harrison Barnes running the court and takes Joe Young to take him away. But watch Stephen Curry, hand up. And the reason why I circle this is because if he can catch it right there, that's his range. And look how far he's back. But this is where they start to look up. You have a Draymond Green push the basketball. He gets it to him. Now you have LaVoy Allen, a guy, a power forward. Now, if he takes the chance to say, let me go try to contest this shot, he could be too late. But also Steph could hit it to Klay Thompson. But that starts off with Harrison Barnes and those guys getting out and running. Second play again, Draymond Green, freeze it. Pau Gasol. Your transition defense is done right now. You have the five guy trying to stop basketball. Draymond Green is coming up, and look at Derrick Rose. We always talk the point guard gives back, he builds out, but his assignment is Stephen Curry not to give up easy shots. Jimmy Butler's trying to stop the basketball, but look at this line I draw. They are trying to get their defense for guys that shooting threes. Andrew Bogut runs the floor. You're dead if he's going to get these type of layups. And also you had Klay Thompson also open as well. So it's all starts for me with Draymond Green, how you match up with him and how you stop the basketball.
All right, so Bones, countering that, the San Antonio Spurs, how do they slow down even a wonderful, amazing fast break transition?
Well, to me, for the San Antonio Spurs, given how much we've looked at what their defense has done this year in terms of historical numbers and the pace that they play at, to me, the offense that the San Antonio Spurs run helps them form the defensive balance and the walls that they can build to stop this kind of transition. So you watch a possession where San Antonio predictably knows where the shots are coming, and watch, Danny Green takes a shot out of the corner. Look at the Spurs all pulling. Danny Green runs from the corner all the way to stop the ball, but look at where the ball is now. 5 Spurs are back to catch any sort of move that comes at them towards the basket. They beat every Laker down on this position. This is not a good fast break for the Lakers, but great transition for the Spurs. Again, shot from the wing. This is a predictable shot for Aldridge in the mid-range. Look at the way the Spurs pull. You see Kawhi Leonard communicating on the point there. They have a mismatch. Patty Mills picks up here and ends up picking up the offensive foul, but they were in great help side position. Just last week against Cleveland, a huge part of their defense, again, getting back against the Cleveland Cavaliers and catching LeBron James in the open court. So Kawhi is going to get nailed with the screen. Look at how far LaMarcus Aldridge is back because he knows Tristan Thompson, not a threat to shoot from the elbow. I got to stop LeBron getting to the rim. He does that. Kawhi stays in the play, keeps coming with the dribble penetration. Tim Duncan knows he's guarding Kevin Love. So look at him. He bumps Tristan Thompson. He's got to close out to a three-point shooter. I've got to chase Kevin Love off the line. Even number 2-1 at his age is able to do that. Right back into the teeth of the defense. Kevin Love loses the ball. So they get out and transition themselves. Danny Green, why not? Here's a 3. But it's their offensive patience, their offensive balance, Vince, where they know the shots are coming from certain areas that allow 4.5 guys, usually. This is a number that Pop talked about all the time. 4.5 guys to pull back. They are not concerned with offensive rebound. They're concerned with taking the best available shot so that they can get back and catch teams in transition.
Yeah, it's amazing how the San Antonio Spurs can play their speed no matter what the other team is playing. And really for Golden State, the challenge again for beating a San Antonio team that took 2 of 3 regular season games a year ago. We can't wait. It's going to be fantastic. It's Monday on NBA TV. Maybe it's kind of like a January conference championship of sorts in the NBA.